So my name is Gabriel Gonzalez. I'm the school counselor here, and we're here having our first session today, and it's our first time meeting each other. So why don't you introduce yourself and just tell me a little bit about yourself?
All right. Do I do it to you or do I do it to the?
You can just do it to me.
Okay. My name is Norman Jean, and I'm here because I've been bullied, and apparently, my reaction wasn't what to the standards of the school and to my parents and everything. But so.
Okay. Is that in a particular class that's happening in?
It kind of happens in, I won't say all my classes, but a few of my classes, because I have like a few difficulties in like math and English, so I'll answer and it's like it's not right in the way, but it's more so PE, because
Okay.
I don't like I've never liked getting dressed in front of other people, so I wear my PE
Okay.
clothes under my regular clothes. So I pull it through my, and a lot of people notice it's like a full locker room. I try to avoid just taking my clothes off in front of people in general, and people they make fun of me for it, and at first it was kind of like you try to laugh with them, but then it got to the point where it's like I got really angry about it.
Okay.
Because it's that's something I really don't like.
Okay.
I don't like it at all. That's something that hurts me at the end of the day. So it just got to a point where I just started reacting, physically to if somebody made a statement. And, I never told my parents. I never told a counselor, a dean, or a teacher. I tried to keep it to myself. I tried to make it so I'm not like that kid that tells on everybody, because sometimes you tell and nobody does anything. So it just got to a point where I just took it to my own hands without.
Okay. Is this between about the same group of people or same group of students?
Yeah, it's kind of at first it started off with one or two, but then you see their friends chime in. The more and more I don't react, and then the more I started reacting, it kind of was just I was the one that was getting in trouble.
Okay.
And then that made me even more angry, because I'm, the one getting in trouble when they're the bullies, but I'm not expressing this, but it's gotten to the point where I don't know what to do.
Okay. Yeah, so you've tried, the only thing you have tried is just physical. You've reacted with physical aggression, but not, like you said, you haven't told anybody else.
Yeah, first it was a little verbal thing here and there, but it was just, that wasn't very long lived. It was very short lived. It was just kind of by the point I started reacting, it was already too much. It's kind of like when you're boiling water and you look at it and it's calm, and then you go back and it's boiling.
Right.
That's what there was no in between of where it started.
Okay. All right. So thank you for sharing all that information. So I'm gonna lay out a couple of things, since the only thing you've been able to do is just respond aggressively, and we want to respond in a more proactive manner. So I'm just gonna lay out some options for you, and we'll try one of those things, and then we can follow up with that next time. So one thing I can recommend is, since this is happening and you said most a lot of your classes, we can try some other things, maybe sitting closer to a teacher. I know you feel very conscious about telling an adult and such. So if this is happening in your classes, maybe we can do that. We can try having you sit closer to a teacher or so. Another thing we can do is we could actually we could try to follow up with some of those kids that are doing the bullying and such, or we could talk to your teachers and at least keep an eye out for those students. I know you don't want to get teachers involved in such, but that's one of the things we can do. So are you open to one of those options?
Yeah, my biggest problem is kind of getting teachers involved to where it always comes back to being, there's those classes where the students that misbehave, it's they do it to a lot of students, so everybody can it's you can't pinpoint it.
Right.
And that's why I express PE as the main one, because the other classes is the same way. multiple students are affected by it. So if it were to get back to them, it'd be like, oh, it's Bill, it's Ted, it's Amber, it's Ashley, it could be anybody.
Yeah.
But with PE, it's kind of like I'm like the main victim because, you know, we have girls' locker rooms and we have boys' locker rooms. And in the locker room, I'm like that main kid, you know, I stand out, I'm taller than everybody, you know. So it's like I'm the one that stands out. So if it's been, oh, you're bullying a student for not wanting to change in front of everybody else,
Yeah.
it's pinpointed to me. You know, that's the only class that can happen. And, you know, I don't want to be that kid that, you know, oh, they're the snitch, because that just invites more, but outside of that classroom.
Right.
So I could just, you know, be walking home and somebody's like, oh, you know, or, you know, different things. But any other class, you know, it's kind of okay if they find out that they're in trouble. But with this one, if they express why they're in trouble, it's like, it's only me.
Yeah.
Like, obviously me.
Okay. Well, what I have here is that I'll just write up that that we'll have you be closer to teachers, and I don't have to give them any details on what's going on because I know you're very conscious about that. But we'll just make some arrangements for to have you be closer to teachers and such. That way, if it does happen, they'll be aware of it without without you having to discuss that with them. So is that something that you're open to?
I'm open to it. You
Okay.
know?
All right. So we'll go ahead and make that arrangement, and I'll have you sign that off, and then we can follow that up with our next session.
Okay.
Okay. Cool. All right. Thank you for coming today.
It was
and
nice to
discussing that
meet
with
you,
me.
Gabriel Gonzalez.
Thank you.